in the building right now. I have Kathy Blaze from DESERTWOODDAZE in the building.
Hello there.
Thank you for coming by.
Such a pleasure. Such a pleasure to be on the Julian show.
Yes. Finally getting this thing launched and, doing a show, as you know, it's not an easy thing. It's not just you just up and do it.
Not at all. Not at all.
And I'm a radio guy, and I think radio is a little simpler because just now before we got started, we were trying to figure out angles, lighting, whereas radio, just turn the mic on, man.
Just turn the mic on and go, huh?
and just go. So with your show, what goes into a TV production?
Wow. Again, my show is called. I'm the host of DESERTWOODDAZE. It's a local TV show. What goes into this show is a team of people. My executive producer, our videographer, our editors, our stage managers, and myself, the host, hair and makeup, our set design. So we have a whole team that goes into putting together this show on a weekly basis. It's aired Monday through Friday. And I forgot one of the steps is casting. I mean, getting people on the show. That's a huge step right there.
Yeah.
That's a huge one right there. Getting individuals on the show that our show focuses on entertainment. So anyone that touches the entertainment industry, from filmmakers, musicians, actors, singers, songwriters, artists, anyone that touches Arizona entertainment industry, we want them on our show.
Want them on? Is it primarily local, or do you get a little combination of local or regional or nationwide?
We're currently now focused on local. We want to see our local. We have so much talent here in Arizona. It's amazing. I mean, I was amazed at all the talent that we have here in Arizona. So right now we're just focused on our local talent. But there's plans for later, but right now the focus is just on local.
All right. So as a host, your preparation for a show, just a regular show, let's say you've got a couple of artists, some things, what do you usually do and how do you usually prepare?
You can be giving you my secrets now.
I need this tea. What do you say? The tea, the skinny, yeah.
Well, you know what, I used to go all out when our first season, preparing these questions for people, and you know what, it was stressing me out. I think more that they were being stressed out because they have to figure out what am I going to say. So my thing is, I changed that up on season 2. I wanted it to be sit down and just have an organic conversation, because you're talking about yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm going to ask you, how long have you been in the music industry? What was it that got you started in this industry? Who inspired you? Ask you certain questions. You're going to be able to throw those answers out there without me sending you a list of questions that, I mean, there'd be a list that you've already answered somewhere else. I want it to be a nice organic conversation. So you will speak about things that you may have not even spoke about before, and you feel more comfortable and at ease. And that's what I see with the artists, that they're more comfortable when they're able to just speak about themselves.
And not be so regimented, because even with asking, as the interviewer, like even I'm feeling comfortable just, you know what, get into the conversation.
Yeah.
And then sometimes a question will just pop up while you're
Right.
talking.
That's true. And that's the way I want them to feel. I want them to feel like they're at home, they're sitting on my couch. I want them
Yeah.
to feel at home and at ease, and that they're getting out to the our community what it is they want the community to know about them, not what Kathy wants them to know about them. I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me what you want me to know about you. What are those fabulous things that you're doing out in our community, and what you're known for? I don't want to guess at it and assume and just put this list of things together because I don't really know you like that.
Right,
I mean,
right.
I'm seeing a lot of artists on a weekly basis, so it's hard to keep up with everybody, you know. So I
Yeah.
want them to tell me who they are.
Awesome. So, where did you even get your start? Like, how was it high school? Where did you get your start in this, and how did it lead up to this point now with Desertwood Dazed?
You know what? I started off in as a I started off as a plus size model, and then from there I was doing the modeling and acting at the same time. This idea with coming up with Desertwood Days came from my executive producer, Mr. George Obarts, and he wanted to give the local community a platform to showcase them, a place where they can showcase their talents and market what they're doing out here in the community.
Mm-hmm.
And he said when he thought of someone hosting this show, he couldn't think of anyone but me to do this.
Nice.
I'm like, well, thank you, George, thank you. But I had worked with George on a couple of shows, movies before. He's also a filmmaker.
Okay.
He's an amazing guy. He is such a community-oriented guy. He believes so much in this community and helping others. So when he thought of putting this together, he was solely thinking about helping other people.
Oh.
And I love that about him. But I had worked with him on a couple of movies that he had filmed, and I'd done several roles, casting, producing. So I had done a lot of work with him before, and I was just really honored that he thought of me to be the host of his show. He said he knew I could do it.
Wow. So you must have some kind of flair, some kind of spark. I mean, I can tell now. The more you're talking, the more I'm. Because even when you walked in here, you had a presence. Do you find people just being just attracting to you a little bit? Or?
You know what? I think it's because I consider myself a people person.
Yeah.
I enjoy being around people, helping others, and I think that's why me and George get along so well. We both have that same type of mindset of helping others,
To help others,
and
yeah.
to help others, and we love this industry. I love what I do, but I did forget to mention that I did host a show before, a talk show before, and it was totally different than Desertwood Days. Totally. I mean, we would go out and do interviews. We went to my first artist that I interviewed. They're actually they're big time celebrities now. They were on, I can't think of the name of that show. One of those competition type shows.
Oh, like
they
The
were,
Voice or something like that?
Yeah, they were these Western guys. There were like five guys, and we got to interview them at the Phoenix Symphony. They performed at the Phoenix Symphony, and that was amazing.
Nice.
That was amazing.
See, that's the thing I love about having a platform is that it does put you in the mix with even in the beginning stage of these other people who end up becoming big. It's like it's so cool to be in the mix of all of that,
Yes.
and then to watch them grow.
Right.
You know, because I think that's one of my things too with Central City Radio. It's a platform. Come do what you do.
Right.
Because I have that same vibe of I want to help. You know, I didn't even want to be in front of the scenes right now. I'm still trying to be behind the scenes, but there is something very special about someone that you can help. You offer a platform, and you just see them flourish.
Right. And you know what the thing is too? There is so much going on in Arizona, and a lot of times, because of who they are, what they do, it may not get showcased or may not get the attention as much as other types of other industries.
Right.
So this gives us an opportunity to showcase whether, I had a aerialist on my show once.
What?
She's an aerialist. She's a musician.
Uh-huh.
So she's an aerialist. She gets in the air and she does all these tricks.
Oh, like on a rope or that?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And she performs as she does that.
Oh,
Okay, I don't know how long you've been in Arizona. If
long time.
you remember Wallace and Ladmo. I'm aging myself when talking about Wallace and Ladmo. That was a
I know
long.
who they are. I
Okay,
got here in '96, so I
okay,
think that was a little after them.
okay. Well, I think it was Wallace. No, it was Ladmo. He was known as, I guess, of um, what is that? I'm sorry, Gerald. I'm forgetting your title, but he has this huge title for clowns. Like he's like this king clown. I can't think
The
of the
King
title.
Clown. Yeah, yeah, I
I'm
feel you.
giving the wrong title, I'm sure. But the last person to have that title was Ladmo from the Wallace and Ladmo show. Now this
Oh,
guy, he juggles um, what, chainsaws. Okay, can you imagine juggling chainsaws? I
really
mean,
don't want to. That's
right. I mean, so this is the kind of
wow.
people that's out here in our industry doing things that they're well notable for.
Yeah.
Because of, I mean, that's something we don't see or we don't do. I mean, so we would never know anything about that.
And especially nowadays where everything's so niched and so scattered, it seems like
Right.
not only do we, not know who's out there with all these different talents,
Right.
but a lot of times, there was a concert last weekend, and I don't forgot who it was. Someone was here. I'm like, what? Number one, I need to know
Right.
who's coming,
Right.
but it's hard to it's so hard to keep up with everything. It's almost like you have
Everything.
to follow one so there's not one major thing anymore.
Right. I mean, I remember back in the day where there used to be a certain place where you would find out. I think New Times used to be one of
New
them.
Times is one of them.
One of those places where you would know everyone that's coming into town to perform. And there used to be certain other places. I mean, the radio stations would, hey, this person is coming to perform, but you miss those things for some reason now. And I don't know if because we've gone to the to technology, more of using our technology with podcasts, and
Right.
everyone isn't so comfortable with technology. Do you think that's one of the reasons?
I think it's when you have your phone, you have your device, and literally it's dang near your world.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have your own selected list of things that you're into.
Right, right.
And then you are in those lanes.
That is true.
And so I used to work at Power 92 back in the day.
Okay.
And I remember when we did a show, it'd be a show that we promote. I had the feeling that the entire city, especially the night of the show, because we would be at the show, we'd be at the venue, we'd be out there broadcasting live from whatever the venue was, whoever's going to be performing, and I
think back in that day, the Celebrity was a hit venue back then.
man, I'm telling you, because you use Celebrity as a great example. Man, everybody in the city knew that somebody, whoever it was going to be at the Celebrity Theater that night.
Right, right.
And Power 92 was the place to keep up with it,
Yes.
find out there's tickets, hear an interview, whatever the case was.
Yes.
It was one place.
Power 92 was the hit show back then.
Yeah, that was my first station.
Yeah.
Like 96 to 2000, I was there.
Yeah.
And yeah, one-stop shop. I mean, yeah, we had competitors and there was some other
Right.
things going on, but it was a one-stop shop. Now, you just have to find your niche, and that's kind of what
Right.
I did. And when it comes to audience with your show, are you having to do the same thing where you're just like, hey, this is the niche, or do you have a couple of them, or do you just try to see if you can bring a whole group in?
My goal and my mission is not to have a niche. I don't do this. I'm looking at music. I don't do country. I don't do pop. I don't do R&B. I do artist.
Got it.
That's my niche, is artist, because I think that's why we miss out on so many great gems out there, because we create this niche for ourselves in our industry, and that is one thing we don't want. I even have, even though I may have an R&B singer on one week, the next week I may have a gospel singer on there.
Right.
They're all artists. That is their passion. That is their work. That is what they give to us. So I value all of them. I don't treat anyone any different than the other. One artist isn't any better or valuable than the next in the way I see them when they step in my and they're on my couch.
Right.
This
Right.
is who that artist is. Um, so I don't have a niche. I want it. If I could, I would touch everybody.
I think that's great. I totally do because, again, we were kind of talking about where music is going,
Yes.
and I think that anybody who's pure with their music, number one, they're authentic, no matter what the genre is. Yeah, let's get them some shine because what's getting the
Yes.
shine mostly is the junk that's out there.
Right, right. That is true. That is true. I mean, just for example, the lady that I mentioned to you who's the airlist. I mean, no one, I mean, the population over here that I may know may have not even known about her. I mean, that's not their type of thing that they
Right.
pay attention to. It's not in their podcast, their list.
No, it's
I'm
not bookmarked on
It's
their
not
thing.
bookmarked for them, but it gives them an opportunity to see something new and something different. And it's not all about, you get an artist on your show, it's not all about their art. It's about them as a person. I'm a mother, I'm a father, or I do this, I volunteer at the shelter. They also bring out all those things. I mean, we get to see them as a human also, and not just an artist.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Now, what about you as a human?
Oh, I am a mother also, look, and a daughter. I am currently at the stage where I'm having to be more of a daughter and take care of my mother because she's been having some health issues.
Hmm.
So, been going through that lately. But you know what? You know what? I feel like that God has blessed me and this is the path He wants me on.
Hmm.
And I make a way. I make time and I schedule and I make sure that I'm not depriving my family, but I'm not depriving myself from my passion and the love and the things that I love and enjoy doing also.
Because that keeps you moving.
It keeps me moving. That is how, when I've had a tough day at home, I go out here and do what I love doing. That takes me back home refreshed.
Right,
Yes.
right. Because you have to.
You do. I mean, all of us, we can't take care of in our families if our cups are empty.
Exactly.
And that's what we do a lot of times. We try and take care of our home and our cups are empty and they're not seeing the best of us because we're on empty.
That sounds like. Do you do any coaching like that? That sounds part of the segment on your show.
I know. Now, you know what? That's just real talk.
That
That's
is.
just
That
real
is
talk.
real talk. And you originally from here?
I am. I am a native of Arizona.
To me, it's not that odd anymore. To me personally, because when I first moved here in '96, yeah, I met hardly anybody that was a native. Now we're talking, what is that, 27 years? So, including my own kids, there's a lot of people who moved here who are young, who are single, and started having kids. So,
Right.
to
So
me,
there's a lot of natives here
there's
now.
a lot of new natives, like,
Right,
including my
right.
kids. So, yeah, there's a lot of natives
And
now.
there's more than we think. You know what? A lot of times people just don't sit down and have a good conversation with other people. Now, things I remember when being a native here, things people are closer. And now, not, and I think it's just because of the way times have changed with technology and working remotely, people are so distant now. So you don't know who your neighbors are, know who
Right.
people. Sometimes people don't even know who their coworkers are, because you may go into a meeting, go home, and that's the only time you see them.
Yeah. There was a quick period of time where I was working a job. Was that last year? A year before? 'Cause I've been primarily doing all of this full time. So, take a little downturn. So, yeah, get a little something, something. It was
Uh,
remote and it was weird to me because I had never, the last time I had worked at a job, I was actually in the building, you know, you know, like normal,
right.
like pre COVID and all of that. And it was the weirdest thing for me to sit there and not be with people.
Right, right.
And there was a bit of a disconnect.
Right.
And that's what goes back to what we talked about earlier, is that, with this non-connection,
Right.
human connection, and we're all scattered
Right.
and just connecting through, digital.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is what it is, and we have to take advantage of it.
Right.
But at the same time, man, it's good to have people. It's like, that's why I
Right.
invite people in the studio. I
And
don't want
that's
to do
what-
Zoom.
And that's what I'm going to say. That's why I love what you're doing, because you're getting the opportunity to meet people and showcase who they are and let our community know who's out here and what they're doing.
Exactly. And I was so glad to meet you.
Same here.
And so
Desertwood Days.
Desertwood
like
Days.
Hollywood, but Desertwood
Desertwood
Days. We're in the desert. Get it, get it,
See,
get it.
that puts the connection. I'm good with connections like that. You just did it for me. Desertwood Days. Now, how can we find it, and how can we enjoy it for ever and ever?
Okay. Well, we're a local. We air Monday through Friday on Local BTV. Local BTV. You can download that to your phone.
Okay. I was going to ask you, is that
yeah, download it to your phone, your tablet, or whatever. Some people also get it on Roku.
Roku?
Yes, and once our shows have aired, I think it airs like 2 times, and then the shows are then individually put on YouTube so that our guests can have their own individual segments. Because when we do a show, it's usually 2 guests on there, and
Okay.
we edit them and cut them up so they have their own segment, and they're all on YouTube.
All on YouTube. So we can follow Desertwood Days on YouTube.
Yes.
Subscribe.
Yes.
Hit the notification bell.
Yes, subscribe.
Yeah.
I'm excited to say we're getting ready for season 3.
Season 3's coming up.
Yes. So you get so much. You get to go back from season 1 and just get to know who's out there. You know what? I always say it's not just about Kathy Blaze and Desertwood Days. It's also about all that talent that's out there that you may want to work with. You may know some of them.
Right. And I think that's what's so important about what you're doing too. Is the visual part of it, which is so important. See them and know them.
Yes.
And yeah, I really love what you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I will definitely want to continue to work. I'd love to help you, support you in any way possible.
Thank you. Same here. And I'd like to also give a shout out to my executive producer. He just had a new film come out, and it's now, I believe it's playing on Tubi right now.
I think it's Tubi.
Tubi right now. It should be on Prime pretty soon. It's called Prankster.
It's called Prankster.
It's called Prankster. And it's a really cool, funny... this guy, he has this. I'm like, where do you get these ideas from?
That sounds like something's up my alley. I'll be checking for make sure you check out Prankster right now on Tubi, but then hopefully, it will be on Prime. It will
be on Prime soon, yes.
Everybody has Prime, so make sure you check that out.
Yes.
Cool deal. Kathy Blaze, everybody.
Kathy Blaze Jefferson.
Kathy Blaze Jefferson. Thank you for stopping by here at Central City Radio.
Such a pleasure.
Absolutely. It is the Julian Show. Let's go.